Hello everybody, Iain Robson here for another edition of Iron Horse. Alright, welcome to the last episode of Iron Horse. As you can see, we have $221,000 right now. I don't normally wear a hat, I'm just going to point this out right now. I don't normally wear a hat when I record. However, in order to prevent sweat from dripping down my forehead or something, I decided to wear a hat. For those John Deere fans out there, it's a John Deere hat for those people who like John Deere. It was a gift from my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. My brother-in-law works at John Deere, so that's the reason why he gave me a John Deere hat. It's one of the few hats I tend to wear every now and then. I'm not much of a hat person in general. I like to show my fancy hair. Not really. I really don't have fancy hair at all. Anyway, so we got a couple things going on today. One of the things we got going on is, as you can see, we have our harvester right here. I'm just going over to our service trailer back over here to get a little bit of fuel because he's running a little bit low on fuel, as you can see. So I'm gonna get this done right now before I forget about it for like the 5th time. Let's see if we can't get this in here. Let's do this like so. I should have done this on the other side, actually. It would have made more sense, but I think you can sneak in here. No, apparently not. Alright, well, we'll do a little bit of a Yui around here. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I imagine we'd be able to get there. You think there'd be a big enough, you know, trigger point around it, but I guess there isn't, so. Not for a combine, apparently, so. There we go, finally. Anyhow, we got a couple of other things going on. We do have, let's just pop down here for a second. We do have a few cows that are ready to be sold, I believe we have. Let me bring up the HUD here for a second. We have 9 cows that are ready to be sold. Out of the number of cows we do have, and we do have lots of manure once again. Although we're probably not going to be using the manure anytime soon. Let's go jump to this guy. No, this guy right here. Might as well sell these cows while that John Deere combine is currently doing its thing. As you can see, I have the animal HUD turned off for the time being because it looks kind of funny. So you can see my face right here, and then there's like you only see part of the animal HUD. A lot of people ask about that right there. What the heck is that, and why am I able to see what's going on with the animals? For those people who want to know, that is the animal HUD mod. You can get that off FS-UK, which is a prominent website where you can get those types of things. It's a pretty good little mod. I like it because it allows me to see all different types of animals and what we got going on with them. One of the things I don't like is the fact that it doesn't show beef cows. Whoa, 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 where are we going? Am I going the right way? Ooh, I think so. Not at all. Well, here's the BGA. Really didn't need to go here. I guess we'll just drive around here and do a little bit of a Yui. Oh, I didn't even notice those before. Tell how often look behind us. Alright. This is the reason why I need to have the map open all the time. You think I would know where I was going by now? No. It's because I made the wrong turn. This is the way I would normally go, but I just don't take that turn specifically, so I believe it's this way we'd normally go, so yes, there we are. Perfect. Every time I drive this vehicle, I always feel like it's a little cramped in terms of viewing. So like the actual windshield itself, which doesn't look like there's a windshield at all. Not from the inside, at least. It always seems like it's a bit cramped and you can't really see anything, so I don't know. Is that the right way? No. Good thing I checked first. See what I mean? Like I can't see out on and around where we need to go. I don't know. There's so many different areas around here that I totally miss every single time. No matter how many times I drive around these certain areas, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I think it's the reason why I don't play on these maps, because I'm like, I don't know where I am. Nope, straight still. Yes. No, I wanted to go that way. We'll get there eventually. Let's stay out of the ditch. Okay, I think this is, yes, there we are, perfect. That should be the right direction. Yes, there we go. Like I said, I don't know how many times I've done that. I really should have set up a course to go from this location right here to the sell point. But honestly, the the cows didn't mature well enough to actually do that. I don't know why, it always makes me laugh. Here in Canada, we say mature, like it's a CH type sound. But for whatever reason in England, I don't know about the rest of England, or the rest of the UK I should say. I'm not sure, but they tend to say mature, which makes a lot more sense because it's actually a T as opposed to a CH. But anyhow, there we go. Let's get our 9 cows here. It's funny, someone was actually pointing out the fact that they're like, they were saying, Iain, you have 12 plus 200 cows, which is kind of cool. It makes sense, right? Those mirrors actually aren't working, are they? No. This does have working mirrors on it, just these ones right now are not working, so excellent. Well, not excellent, but they're not working, but I'm happy we have some cows to sell, let's say that. I totally realized that I forgot to get my water out of the... I was heating up water to make hot lemonade, and I totally forgot about it now. Now I'm going to be like all parched and be like... for those people who have ever seen Zoolander, here's a reference for you guys. Oh, Papa, I think I have the black lung. If you get that reference, excellent. If you don't, watch Zoolander, you'll understand. Anyhow. Alright, so the hat seems to be working well. Sweat isn't dripping down my forehead. I don't know if you guys remember last time I recorded, I think it must have been the first episode of this series, but I was totally like squeegeeing my forehead. It was so gross. So that's why I was like, you know what? I will save them watching me do that. So I thought I'd wear the hat. Although I'm sure some people are going to be like, why don't you wear a case hat? Well, or a John Deere or any other brand. It's only because I could have worn a black hat with no brand on it at all. The only problem would have been is that black hat is a work hat and looks horrible. This is the only nice hat I have. I could have worn a Tilly hat, which would have been ridiculous, but not happening. We never got around to using the sprayer. I never noticed any of the weeds that the multi-sprayer mod talked about. And I think it's just I'm sure it's because I missed something. I didn't install it properly. I think you may have to do something else with it, but you may have to include, maybe it's this and you need another mod as well. I don't know. Excellent. Look at that. Perfect. Sell those cows. They look like Hereford cows, I think. Apparently they shrink when you when they exit the vehicle. Alright, that's good. Let's hop into our combine, which should be full by now. It is. Excellent. Yeah, that really makes me sad that I can't use my Jeep, which I bought last episode, to actually, you know, carry around this service trailer. Oh well. I bet you if I buy the F350, it'll be able to do it. I know the 350 can, but I'm kind of surprised that that Jeep can't for whatever reason, so I don't know. I have no idea. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this rolling here. The funny thing is, at this apartment building I live in, always, people... Oops, I really don't need chaff. I don't need straw, I should say. Let's turn it off. It's M, isn't it? I'm pressing the right button here. Oh, there it goes. One of the really funny things that happens is people constantly... That was a long sound. That was a long, winding down sound. As you can see, I left the planter right there, just chilling out for the moment. This is where the sheep drop off the wool, or it gets collected, I should say. What we're going to do is going to grab the Richard Western trailer, which is somewhere around here, and get him set up so he unloads the combine automatically. Where did I leave it here? Did I miss the wheat great demand? No. It's in a couple days still. Okay, well. Don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but whatever. Alright, where is that Richard Western? That's the cane I can't use with Courseplay. Ah, here it is. Perfect. It's funny, I was watching Dirt Hebbers today, one of his newer episodes, and he was using one of these as well, and he was trying to sell... what field is this? Field 3. He was trying to sell a little bit of liquid manure that he had using that trailer, and apparently it wasn't working properly for him, which just kind of sucks. I thought it did work, actually. And I'm kind of surprised it didn't work. Don't know why I'm going to set it manually. We only have one combine, but whatever. Yeah, so he was using that trailer, one of those trailers at least from Big Boss Modding to sell the manure, liquid manure, but didn't happen. Alright, let's hop back on this guy now. And let's bring this up right here so we can... Actually, let's do this. Because I constantly forget about this. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Excellent. Alright, anyways. So yeah, he was trying to use it and it wasn't working very well for him. He was trying to sell it and didn't work out, actually. It's interesting. I actually went back and started watching one of his older series. One of the series, it was the one where he was in Colorado. Where he was on Duke's map, actually. And I thought it was kind of cool because I haven't gone back and watched that series in a while. I remember it well, but I just haven't watched it in a while. And I was just, the reason why I went back and watched it was because I was curious about his storytelling, actually. It's one of the things he mentioned in one of his June YouTube update was he was talking about his, the slowest guy down here. He was talking about his storytelling and how he doesn't do much of that anymore. There we go. And how he doesn't do much of that anymore. And so I went back and I was like, what did he do in there? I don't remember very well. So I kind of went back and checked it out again, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember he does that stuff. But he hasn't done it for a long time. At least in his current season, he hasn't done it yet. Which is a bit unfortunate, because I thought it was kind of cool. So hopefully in the future he just decides to do that a little bit more, because that's kind of one of the I think what makes him unique, because he's really good at telling the story. I'm not as good. Actually, today was interesting enough. I actually recorded a little bit of a totally different map with like a storyline type thing, and I thought it was kind of interesting because I showed my girlfriend and she was like, that's a bit strange, because what I was doing in that scenario was I was actually talking to the camera. I was just like, hey, how's it going? And it was like talking as if someone else was there, and she's like, man, don't do that. That's just weird. So I was like, good to know. So I decided against doing that specific format, but I was just testing a couple things out to see how it would look on camera, or sound on camera at least, because it's one of those things where if you don't test it out, you'll never know, right? Guess we don't need the pipe out. There we go, perfect. This was one of the things I was kind of curious about, so I thought I'd test it out, see how it worked, and see if it worked well or not. And if it worked well, then maybe I would try it. It was a small little 5-minute clip, just to see if I was able to do it and if I was able to make it sound, somewhat interesting. But I like the way Dirt Hebbers did it, because he did like a little bit of a why they're in that particular area sort of thing. So I thought that was neat. I really should be going on the other side, actually. Let's just do that. The reason I want to go on the other side is just so he doesn't have to drive through the crop all the time, so that is the only reason why. Let's get lined up there. We'll miss a little bit there. Perfect. But yeah, it was kind of interesting because I went back to the Colorado map and I was like, what did he do on that map? Like, what do I remember about it? I remember it being Duke's map, and I remember how it was really difficult, actually. I think he was playing on hard, and the difficulty level was just made it ridiculous. And he ended up playing a lot off camera, and I can sympathize with that because I have definitely done the same thing. When I play on bigger maps, you do end up playing a lot off camera to get things done, basically. You have like two options. You could see me doing this right now too. Or I should do like this, actually, which is two options, which is better. So if you're from the UK, sorry. So you have two options. You have two options, basically. You can either do it all on camera, or do part of it on camera and do it part of it off camera. So it really comes down to a question of how much you want to do off camera. So if you don't mind doing a lot, that's perfect. But if you don't have time, like Dirt Hebbers definitely doesn't have a lot of time on his hands. It's one of the reasons why he's slowing down a little bit in terms of farm sim specifically. So Which makes perfect sense. The guy works really hard, so, and his stuff is he just puts out high quality stuff, which is good. Lately I've been thinking about how I could make my videos. What is he doing? Why did he decide to go in the ditch? I've been thinking about how I can make my videos higher quality. One of the things that's been bothering me is that you can hear my computer here. It makes a horrendous hum throughout the whole. Especially when I don't talk, you'll be able to hear it. Now that I pointed it out, you'll hear it all the time. I'm sorry. But there is a hum from my computer, and there's a couple ways I can fix it. One of the ways I can fix it is, where is he going? Alright, he's gonna get stuck in the ditch now. One of the ways I can fix it is I can record the audio in a separate program and then put it through a noise removal process. That's one option. The other option I've been thinking about doing is getting a different microphone. What's called a dynamic microphone. Yes. Is it dynamic? Yes. Dynamic microphone, which will be a bit more... Alright, let's try this. There we go. That seemed to work a bit better. There we go. It's always the problem with course play. Watch him, like, do something crazy again. There we go. Yeah, so that's one of the couple of options that are possible that I can do. So I've been thinking about it. Buying a new microphone. The microphone I was looking at is kind of a bit on the pricey side, so I was kind of, I think I'll forego that. It's not so bad. The only time it's really prominent is at the starting of the video when I don't talk. That's what I discovered, at least. Apparently I talk a lot during the video, so you don't notice it most of the time. But at the starting of the video, I tend to notice it a lot, for whatever reason. Just because I am paying attention to it specifically, and that's probably the reason why I hear it the most. But that's just me. Anyways, like I've said in the past, I'm sure, I don't do a whole lot of post-production. So basically that means I don't, after I record the video, I don't do a lot of post-production stuff. And that's only because I put out a lot of videos in a week. That's the only reason why. If I were to put out fewer videos, I could do it quite easily, but with the number of videos I do put out, it makes it slightly more difficult. One thing that's kind of thrown me off a little bit, this tractor right here, or this set of tractors from DZN, they're fantastic tractors. They, even with the developer version, the new version of Courseplay, it doesn't work. I don't know why they don't work. It really threw me off. I was testing out one of the, not this one specifically, but one of the other international tractors, and I was kind of curious as to why it wasn't working properly. It made me a bit sad, actually. I thought I'd be fine in the new version of Courseplay. It's not. It doesn't work still. I don't know why it doesn't work still, but it doesn't, so. C'est la vie, I suppose. C'est la vie. Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, I was checking out another map and just seeing what it was like and if it was a good map. Well, like it was for storyline related stuff, and I was just curious as to the map is. I was just playing around the map and it's a gorgeous map. I was just like, this is a pretty nice looking map. Anyways, so I was looking at it and I was like, wow, this is really sweet. I wish more maps were like this. But it was more of a story. It was supposed to be storyline driven, and that's one of the reasons why I went back and looked at Dirt Pepper's stuff to see how he did it, to see if I could potentially emulate some of it, not all of it, of course, because that would just be strange. I'm not Dirt Pepper's, definitely. I do things differently than he does, that is for sure. But I was just curious as to how he did it, because he does a pretty good job with it. He's better at the story stuff. And I tried it before a little bit, and I was able to do it to a certain extent, but not as well as I would have liked. So because of that, I think that's why I was kind of like, I was doing okay, but it's not the best thing I've ever done before. So because of that, I was just kind of thinking, like, maybe I'll try this and see how it goes. I don't know. But it was just it was like a 5-minute recording. So anyhow. One of the really cool things, I was watching a video today on YouTube, of all places I know. Who would watch videos on YouTube? Anyways, I was watching a video on YouTube, and one of the really cool things I discovered was that Vaderstad is in Canada now, and they've partnered with a company called Seedhawk here in Canada, and they are bringing their. I think it was they were talking about a corn planter in the video. It was a video from Farms TV. Farms TV it was, and they were talking about how Vaderstadt is, which is actually kind of cool, also because there is a Vaderstadt DLC for Farm Sim, which is kind of interesting. But their corn planters, they actually hold the record for the fastest corn planting in the world, I guess they were saying in the video, which is kind of interesting. They planted, I think they said 720 acres in 24 hours with one of their corn planters. I thought that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I love the fact that I can do that, and you guys can see. Anyways, so yeah, that's what they were talking about, and I thought it was really cool because I didn't realize they were in Canada at all. So the fact that they were here and they were doing stuff, that was pretty sweet. So I had no idea. Apparently, going at speed 1 is the speed to go at here, because this combine is able to, I should say this tractor is able to keep up. Because if I go at level 2, or speed level 2, you won't be able to keep up at all. Anyhow, but yeah, that was one of the cool things I discovered today. Apparently Vaderstadt is in Canada, or it's coming to Canada, or it's already here, so to speak. And they are bringing in their corn planters with them. So a lot of people point out the fact that some of the tractors or whatnot I have are not North American, which is true. For example, let's say I get a Fendt in a North American map. Not necessarily this map, but the other map most likely. So let's say I get a Fendt and I'm supposed to be in North America. And a lot of people might point out the fact that, hey, Iain, you know, we don't really have that type of tractor here in North America. Which is true for the most part. It's not a prominent tractor. However, what is happening over time is that there are a lot more European brands coming into North America for whatever reason. As for example, case in point is Vaderstadt coming to Canada, partnering with Seedhawk. I've seen advertisements for Lemkin. I've seen advertisements for lots of European brands in Canada. Well, that's all I know. I don't know about the United States, but in Canada, I tend to see a lot more of them. So I don't know why that's the case, but it is happening for sure. So it's kind of interesting to see how it works out. I don't know why they're coming to Canada specifically. I think it's interesting because it does give you an idea of... this is me talking with my hands, of course, because you can see this right now. This is what happens when you deal with French people, I guess. I don't know. A lot of French people like to talk with their hands. A lot of people in general like to talk with their hands, but I've discovered that French people, the people I work with specifically, I should say, they tend to be a lot more expressive. So because of that, they do talk with their hands a bit more, which is where I picked it up from. That has nothing to do with anything. But I think the reason why a lot of people are coming to Canada is probably because it's another market they haven't explored yet. And they get to test out their equipment, perhaps, on more acres. And that's one of the things that came to mind just now, actually. Perhaps they're trying on more acres because if you compare, I don't know, some equipment, and if you want to get it tested on a small little area, coming to Canada, or United States for that matter, the amount of acres you can test a piece of equipment on is just crazy. Not so much here in Ontario, but if you go out west to like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, maybe a little bit of Alberta, I don't know for sure. But the number of acres on a farm, like you can find like 5,000-10,000 acre farms out there. It's crazy. Here, you can find big farms, like depending where you're from. I know people who are from, like, let's say Norway or Denmark. 100-acre farm is relatively large. In some areas, let's say. Not everywhere, but in some areas. But in Ontario, even 100 acres is a small farm. So, gives you an idea. And that might be one of the reasons why European companies are coming here, is because they want to test out their equipment on more land. But in reality, it probably comes down to money. Because if you go into a new market, you can potentially make more money. That's usually what it boils down to. Alright. Perfect. Look at this. I love this. The GPS mod is pretty darn sweet. After I figured out how to use it, I really enjoy it for whatever reason. So, anyhow, I don't know why, but I like it. All right, I could probably hire a worker. I wonder what happens when you hire a worker here. Probably nothing. I'll let him finish off that last pass there. All right, do we have any other vehicles that need to be taken care of? I don't think so, actually. We could deal with manure. Doesn't really make a difference, I don't think. We have lots of fields that we can harvest, I should say. Let's just see here. Da, 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 da. Apparently that poplar tree is growing in a puddle, a big puddle. We got canola here. Is there anything we absolutely need to finish on this farm? I hate that. Let's just stop driver because he's going to get in the way here. I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. The only reason I say that is because we are getting close to the wrapping up point, as Direwolf would say. And I totally agree with him. 30 minutes is a good point to wrap up at, because if you go past 30 minutes, while yes, some people do love a longer episode, and I have had requests for people saying, please do longer episodes. Once in a while I will. It just depends on what's going on. In this scenario, you guys have seen everything on this map pretty much. There's not really an area you haven't seen, or is there? Actually, you know what we should do? Because this is the last episode, we don't need to do any harvesting. Let's just let that guy do his thing. Money's not an issue here. Let's go grab the Jeep, which I think is right over here, and let's see if we can't get to that island, because we definitely have not been on the island. We'll do a little cruise. If you guys know who Dr. Vesuvius is, he has his own YouTube channel, and he does sometimes he does these things called Sunday drives, and he takes like his Jeep, his Dr. Vesuvius Jeep, and he drives around the map, and he does a couple things. Is this the way we can go? I don't know. No, it's not this way. Let's turn around. I don't know where exactly, but let's go. We're gonna try and find this out. I'm gonna keep the episode going until we find out where we're supposed to be going for this particular area. I think it's over here. I think there's a walkway. Actually, you know what? I think I've been over to that bridge, that area before. Don't know if I have taken you guys over there. Oh, I guess we have been over there. More than I thought. Never mind. So this is this little area over here. Actually, this Jeep drives really well. It's just teensy-wincy. That door does not open, unfortunately. But that's a castle there. Alright. What else? There's a couple areas we haven't explored yet. I don't think. If you guys have ever seen Monty Python, there's a certain part in Monty Python where there are French people. They are on top of the castle walls. And they're on top of the castle walls, and King Arthur is trying to get into the castle. And they say something very specifically, and those people who have seen Monty Python the Holy Grail will know exactly what I'm talking about. But they make a funny comment to the... Oh, look, there's sugar beets right there. Huh. So there's the sugar beets, or potatoes that we never did anything with. Good to know. Yeah, so they say something very specific, and for those people who know the reference I'm referring to at this particular time, maybe I'm being too vague. So let me just paint a little picture for you guys. So the French are on the top of the castle. The English are down the bottom of the castle. It's King Arthur down here, and the French are up here. And King Arthur's like, "I'm king of the Britons, let me in," essentially. And then the French are like, "No." But they say something very specific. So for those people who know exactly what I'm talking about, I hope you laugh. For those people who have no idea, look it up, I guess. Why would you need fertilizer way over here? Seriously. Why would you come over here? Fertilizer. And there's water there too. This water station is cool, but I never liked the way it looked. What the heck is this? Is this the... What is this? Maybe this is the wool sell point? Doesn't look like a spinnery. It looks like a little storage area. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. a nice place to keep your vehicles, I suppose. Let's go take a look at the top of the mountain here. Yeah, I guess that's all it is. Just a nice place to keep your vehicles. I think everywhere else we've pretty much been. This is the only area we really hadn't been before. I thought we hadn't been on the island, but we definitely have. That's where one of the sell points is. Yes, I guess that's it. Alright, folks. That's it. That's all. That's episode 30. The last episode of the Iron Horse Farm. Now, some of you may want this to continue, but I tried 30 episodes for whatever reason. For me, seems to be just perfect. I could keep it short. Because that's all normal. I could have gone shorter, but 30 episodes is nice. Episode length. Let's stop rambling, Ian. Let's proceed. Anyways, folks, that's it. That's all. My name's Iain Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013 for the last episode of Iron Horse. Catch you guys later.